The Baton Rouge Ballet's Nutcracker has delighted audiences for more than 20 years. Dancer Leonard Augustus has performed in nearly all of them. One year, he played 4 roles.
I've been Clara's dad, I've been one of the guests, I've been the Arabian, and I've been the Nutcracker. And so that was a lot of quick changes.
He's seen big changes throughout the years, too. Back in the early 90s, the Baton Rouge Ballet teamed up with the New Orleans Dance Company. But Baton Rouge dancers could never audition for any of the main roles. Leonard changed that.
I remember my partner was Dawn, and the coveted role at that time was the Arabian. And no one could get that role. And they would not allow any of Baton Rouge's dancers to have any of the principal roles. So we sort of begged to say, just let us audition. If just let us audition. If you don't want us after audition, we get it. And they let Dawn and I audition. And at the time, the director said, okay. So it was a really big deal back then.
For nearly 20 years after that, Leonard was the Arabian. It's one of the most demanding roles in the Nutcracker. 5 years ago, he passed the torch to a dancer he mentored and helped groom, LaBryan Patrick. LaBryan got something Leonard didn't, a male role model to encourage, enrich, and cultivate his talent.
When I see the young dancers come up, it's hard to describe what it means. And also being in an environment where the arts was not even discussed and dance was not on the agenda for me or any male in my family, it's huge, what that opportunity provided for me to be able to dance. And
Leonard didn't start dancing until his 20s. It was Baton Rouge Ballet founders Molly Buckman and Sharon Matthews who recognized his raw talent, gave him free dance lessons, then watched him blossom. Leonard found his passion, but did so secretly. He didn't even tell his own mother.
yes, I was afraid, the story of my mom. I did not invite her to the first ballet I was in because I was embarrassed and didn't know what she might think or didn't know what my family might think. So, yeah, there was a little bit of secrecy because of the stereotyping and because of the fear of if I took that kind of risk and failed.
Leonard didn't fail. He flourished.
I took the risk in silence and it was well received. So then I thought that gave me confidence. And so then it didn't matter what people thought because so many people were so kind to me right off the bat and have been kind to me throughout these years. So
Leonard's mom found out about his dancing through the grapevine.
I
No?
think people saw me
Oh.
and she found out. And so it was a matter of do I lie and say, no, that was not me? Or do I just mess up and say, yes, that was me? And I'm not sure if it hurt her feelings or not at the time, but I know that every time since, if it was in her power, she would come and see me.
And yet, as close as they were, Leonard never asked her what she thought of him as a dancer.
Right, I didn't want to even ask her what she thought because I didn't want to hear anything bad. So, not that she was not that kind of person. I don't know why I thought she would say something bad. She
Fear.
wouldn't have. Fear can enslave you. And I'm so glad I lived long enough to know not to let that hold me down. So.
For the Nutcracker, Leonard is now holding the role of Uncle Drosselmeyer, one filled with mystery and magic.
And he's sort of this mysterious uncle who comes around every now and then. And some people are kind of afraid of him, and others just don't know what to make of him. But Clara is his favorite. He creates magic, so he can always make things happen. So he comes in and he always brings a present, a trick, to entertain. And then he finally expresses to Clara, how happy he is to be with her at this time of year, and he sees that she gets a present that's not so exciting as what all the other house guests get. But he has something up his sleeve. He's already hidden a secret present that's just for her, and that's the Nutcracker. And then as she continues with her experience of this magical night, she falls asleep and she dreams, and the Uncle Drosselmeyer makes everything bigger, and he turns the Nutcracker into a life-size prince, and he makes it snow, and he makes everything grow larger and bigger than life, and he takes her to the land of sweets, where she sees things that she's never seen before, and everything's just magic and wonderful, and it's all for her. And at the end, when she's experienced all that she can handle, he comes back and he puts her to sleep.
In many ways, perhaps, this role was destined for Leonard because it certainly mirrors who Leonard, the person, is, sharing his gifts, making things happen, bringing things to life, and creating magic. The Nutcracker has become such a part of Leonard's Christmas tradition, he can hardly imagine life without it.
It would be different without it. It's just a part of my blood now. I can't imagine it, and but it'll be different. I'll be open to whatever happens in this part of my life. Where if I have to, relinquish this role, then I'm sure I'll just enjoy being a patron and sitting in the audience and watching the show and knowing the hard work that the dancers have put into it and appreciating it.
But this might surprise you. Leonard dances for sheer fulfillment and fun. His real job with the Louisiana Department of Education pays the bills. He doesn't just dance with the Baton Rouge Ballet. He lends his time and talents to countless other organizations and rarely gets or expects a dime. He's taught hundreds to dance through the years, including me in Dancing for Big Buddy back in 2006. He's a tough coach. He's demanding, unrelenting, and expects and accepts only your best.
If you walk away after an experience the same person, what a shame. You should be different. I would like to think every experience I have, every experience I give somebody else, they walk away a different person.
Working with different dance companies used to be taboo in Baton Rouge. It was Leonard who helped change that too. Even though at one time it meant having to choose between his starring role in The Nutcracker or working with inner city kids.
I felt it was not something I could commit to, especially at the time when I was involved with helping some underserved children with a Mid-City Dance Project, which put on sort of an inner city Nutcracker. And so if it came down to me choosing to sort of sacrifice some of the glamour that I was having and some of the attention I was receiving to giving it to an underserved child, I thought it was a no-brainer. So that's what I was able to do. And eventually I was able to do both and even more things. And now,
Bucking tradition wasn't always easy.
when you stand up, you feel a little lonely because you don't know how it's going to turn out. The dancers here, they dance here, they dance out of state, they dance with other companies, they get a rounded experience. And so I feel real fortunate to watch that transition happen.
The transition his own life took after learning to dance is still hard to put into words.
I can't describe it. I never try to name it because I think the moment I try to identify what it is, then it's lost. As long as I just stay open to whatever comes my way and whatever is given as gift, then I can receive it as gift.
Leonard has grown into a gifted dancer. But it only started because others shared their gifts with him. On this Nutcracker stage, everyone shares their gifts with the audience. So many wonderful moments shared. But Leonard does have a favorite.
The end, when all of the magic is over and the lights dim and I go and I take Clara into my arms and I put her down for bed to sleep, and the orchestra they hit these notes and it's just so dramatic and I see the curtain coming down.
As the final curtain fell on his mother's life, she and Leonard may have given each other one of the greatest gifts of all.
And when she was near death, she told me that she was very proud of me and that she always wanted to be a dancer. And whenever she saw me dance, it was like her dancing.